Welcome to a fab journey. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy who is on a fab journey. And yes, our biggest pull yet is the title this week, because yes, we have had a big pull, but more on that during the cardboard section later. This is take two, by the way, because my camera decided to turn itself off in the last one. So let's hope we have more success this time around. We really got back into the swing of things, got along to a couple of armories this week, and which is where that pull came from. And also, we had our most successful armory ever. So yes, stick around for more. We'll talk about all of that during the show. So let's get on with things then. And first up, the news. Well, I think the LSS are on an extended festive break because there's not been much news, let's be honest. There was an announcement about how you receive your monetary prizes, but let's be honest, that's not something that I need to be worried about anytime soon. My daughter? Maybe, but more on that later. But yeah, they're basically, this compendium of Wraith is obviously coming out in a couple of weeks, and I think that's where all of the focus from LSS is at the moment. Let's be honest with that. So let's move on then to emptying the wallet. And there was a good question on Reddit about how you store your cards. Now, the way that I store my cards is I've got a cardboard card storage box, and we have one section where we put all our heroes and tokens, another section where we put in all the equipment, including weapons, and that's split by hero class and hero ability. And then we have all the deck cards, be that attack action cards, auras, attack reactions, all of that kind of stuff. Again, split by hero class and ability as well. Now, up till now, I've been using bits of coloured paper to separate the cards, and look, it's been a bit floppy. It's not been the best. So I noticed someone had these cool plastic coloured ones that they were using, and I asked them where they got those from, and they pointed me in the direction of Ultimate Guard Flex card dividers. Whew, that's a mouthful, isn't it? So I bought 6 packs of 10 of those from Goblin Games. Yep, these things, if you're watching the video rather than listening to the podcast. So we've got those, $43.94 for all of those. Admittedly, one pack has gone to my daughter to separate her Pokemon collections, because she is a bit of a Pokemon collector. On the event side of things, as I said, we got to 2 armories. So that's $15 times 2 for the entry into the Card Merchant Hamilton Armory, and $6 times 2 for the Gateway Games Armory. So that's $42 there. Add that on to what I spent with those card dividers, and that comes to $85.94. Less than $100. Wow, that's good. Look, and it should be, let's be honest. We are now at the stage where we've got everything we need. Do we have everything we want? No, but we have everything we need. So we don't need to be spending that much. Really, let's be honest. We did also spend $131.70 on a Pokemon deck, sleeves and event entry for my daughter. Because like I say, she's been a Pokemon collector for a while, but she decided to give Pokemon playing a go. But look, that's not really part of a fab journey, is it? Or at least not the main path anyway. Who knows? We may talk about more about that in the future, but not so much for now. We'll stick to our flesh and blood. Onto the armories then. And first up was Card Merchant in Hamilton on Tuesday night. And after 2 weeks of no armories, who will I get matched up with first? My daughter. She was back to playing Ira after having played Slippy towards the end of last year. And look, she really enjoyed having her main deck back, because let's be honest, that Ira deck is pretty well tuned. It's not fully tuned, but it is fairly well tuned. Could do with the Mask of Momentum and a couple of other things, but it's a good, well-tuned deck. Whereas the Slippy one, yes, we've got some nice pieces of equipment in there, Bloodsplattered Tunic, Flick Knives, but it definitely does not have all of the cards, no codexes, for example. So, yep, she enjoyed that one. Look, I've always lost against that deck, so not surprising that I lost with my Pallades again. Didn't get any auras when I had to go first, so I had a really bad setup to start off with. And I now got behind life and never really catched up. Even when I did knock off 15 life, there was no, she could just take it using life as a resource, and that was all over. I never got momentum. Next up was up against Etty, who was playing Fang this time. I played Etty, who played quite a few different decks now. But Etty is someone that I've had several draws with over the last few months. And we very nearly end up there again. Look, I managed to land some real big hits. Also a Terra Sunder / and Thump combo, which made Etty discard 3 cards. So in the end, we got a time warning, and I was able to win it with the last turn of the game, with me down to 2 life. So I got a win! Yay! Cool. Last up, I played Carl, who was playing a Bolton deck. It wasn't until afterwards, chatting, that I found out it was basically a Bolton Armory deck, pretty much straight out of the box. Not much upgrading at all. It was interesting. Early on, he got a big hit, and he literally threw all of his armor in the way of it, which meant that he actually got to really stock his soul at that point, and go again was not going to be a problem for him for the rest of the game. Look, I had some bad all red hands and a couple of aura hands, which didn't really help matters, and so I lost that one, ending the night with 1 win and 2 losses. Friday night, then it was on to Gateway Games. Surely things could get better. Well, maybe not for me. But first up, I was playing Matt, who's on Arachne, Marionette. Look, things were going okay at first. A couple of rounds of Thump that was only being boosted by 1 point because of through this the suspense is killing me. But that's enough to activate Thump, which was good. So I was getting him to discard cards early, which was kind of cool. I was all set up to destroy his Flick Knives with Colossal Bearing, when an untimely banishment of a blue card, and it purely came down to what card he turned over on top of my deck. If it had been a red one, I'd have been good. As it was a red-blue one, it ruined everything. I suddenly, was that plus the disruption for then onwards meant that, I never really got back into the game after that. Next up, I played James with Gravy. Let's be honest, we played him a few times now. In turn 2, I had a look at an Act of Glory, Edge of the Seats, and Tension in the Air, all pop for plus 15. Unfortunately, he had Chum, which meant I had to attack Chum, his ally, not him. And look, I spent the rest of the game trying to kill his allies off one by one, the aim of wearing him down. But look, I kept on taking damage, and he won with 31 life left. It really was an absolute thumping. Yeah, hammerings don't get much bigger. Finally, I played James, it was his leaving party, by the way, so he had a really good, nice send off while he's heading off down to Christchurch. So all the best, James, with that move, and hopefully we do catch up again at various fab events. And he was playing with Prism, and I really understand now why people say that Necromancer is just Shadow Illusionist at the end of the day. Look, when you're playing them, Dead Threads does feel very much like Celestial Kimono, doesn't it? Let's be honest. So it seems pretty much, yes, they're slightly different, but I say playing against them, it feels pretty much the same, or very similar anyway. This was another game that was actually was a mammoth long game, and if we'd been timing, well, this one we would have been a draw. But this one took forever. Look, I'd lost it probably about half an hour before the game had even finished. Look, I was just trying to kill his various heralds and auras. Look, I quickly got him down to 22 life. So early on, good start. But after that, it just he didn't take any more damage, and occasional damage was coming through to me. And look, eventually, he finished me off. He finished off actually with the only bit of arcane damage he did in the whole game. So so I ended the night 0-4. My daughter, on the other hand, won her first ever armory, which was kind of cool. She went 4-0 on the night playing with Ira, and hence why I'm saying that maybe we need to set up the cash prize thing for her, not for me, because she's doing better than me at this game. Let's be honest. But anyway, let's get on to the fun things. What was that pull? Yes, let's talk about cardboard. So at Card Merchant Hamilton, we chose Hunted as our packs from the Armory. So that's 4 packs of the Hunted. And we pulled a blood splattered cloak, which is kind of cool, but not just any blood splattered cloak. Sorry, it was the extended art cold foil version. So look, we've already got a blood splattered cloak, but that is a rainbow foil version. So do we now, that we traded for at the Rotorua Christmas party, do we upgrade that in the deck, or do we trade this one or sell this one for some cards? And I think we're going to look at probably trying to trade this one. To be honest with you, on Collector, this is worth 183 New Zealand apparently. So it would be good to try and get something like, some non-foils, obviously, but a Mask of Momentum, that's $101. A couple of Ancestral Empowerments would be nice. They're $16 each, so that's about $32. Maybe a couple of Tarantula Toxins, again, at $20 each. So if we could do 3 of those, that'd be $60. So that would be $192. So about the same sort of price as this. maybe a few kisses of deaths in there. So some sort of combination of those plus the Mask of Momentum would be kind of nice for that. So that's going to be kind of the job over the next couple of weeks, is trying to figure out how to either sell this or trade this for a combination of those kind of cards. Look, clearly we're not going to get all of them, but hey, some of them to improve the Slippy deck and to improve and those ancestral empowerments for my daughter's Ira deck would be kind of cool. Look, the other packs didn't really reveal any yield anything of interest. There are a few extended art things that are good for blinging ordinary decks up, but nothing that I think we'll be able to trade for anything significant in our decks, to be honest. On the meta matters side of things, let's look at our local metas then. So over in Hamilton, we had Pleiades and Ira. That was myself and my daughter. Bang, Bolton, Teklevussen, Reinar, and Florian. So 7 decks, 7 different heroes there. So very diverse meta. And look, Carl, who was on Bolton, he's looking at building a Dorinthia deck when the cards arrive. So even more variety, or even another hero there. At Gateway Games, we had 11 heroes across the 12 decks there. Pleiades and Ira again, obviously, for me and my daughter. Gravy, a couple of Arachne marionettes, who is proving to be very meta at the moment, isn't he? That one. Acilio, Phi, Viserai, Florian, Puffin, and Prism. So across 17 decks there, we could obviously take out, obviously the Pleiades and Ira deck only happened once, even though there are 19 across the two of them. We had 15 different heroes, only Arachne Marionette and Florian being doubled up. So look, I think at local level, the meta is in a great diverse place currently. So yeah, if anyone's complaining about boring metas and stuff, yeah, sure, maybe at the top end, but I say down at what do you call it? Gone blank. Down at Armory level, I think it's in a great place. What's coming up then, folks? Well, next week we'll see whether we make an Armory or not. Family commitments getting in the way of that, which is fine. Family comes first, folks. Don't forget that. On Saturday, however, we have our first Road to Nationals at Card Merchant Hamilton, and then the following week on the Sunday we have Road to Nationals at Gateway Games, and then it is the big one, calling Tie Happy. It's not in Tie Happy, but hey, why let the venue get in the way of or details get in the way of a good name? So yes, practicing my gumboot throwing for that one. So that one should be a real fun. We're definitely looking forward to that one, and a couple of days down in Owakuni, which is the town over from where the actual event is happening. So look, we'll try and get a travel vlog for that one going, definitely. So do look out for that when it comes out. And look, please do share, like, subscribe. Let's help spread the word, help grow the channel, please. That'd be much appreciated. And if you would like to support the channel, head over to Substack and you can become a member there for, I think it's $8 a month or $80 for the year. So not very much at all. And you know what? You could be the very first paid subscriber I have if you did that. So thank you very much, everybody, for sticking around, and I hope you're enjoying your Fab journey.